So I've got two topics here that are like kind of related to like madmen and crazy people. The first, have you ever heard of this guy named Brett Adcock?
No,
Have you heard of this company called Vettery? Do you remember Vettery?
not really. Cool
Okay.
name, but no, I don't. I couldn't tell you what it is.
So this guy named Brett Adcock, I just met him recently and he joined our community and I've been getting to know him. Listen to this guy's background. So he's 36 years old. He's from Central Illinois. And in around 2012, 2015, he started a company called Vettery. And it's nothing particularly sexy. It was just basically like a job site. And it was a little bit like Hired.com. And eventually Hired.com tried to bully Vettery. Hired.com was also a similar business, a job board, but like, you know, more in depth, more technology. And they raised north of $100 million. Fast forward 5 or 6 years later, Vettery ended up buying Hired.com when Hired.com went bankrupt. And so Vettery was basically a job website to help people recruit engineers, raised $10 million, eventually was acquired for 120-ish, about 100, 150, I think. So this guy, Brett, he's 36 now. So back then when it was acquired, that was in like 2015. So he was in his 20s. He made low digit tens of millions of dollars. So he didn't tell me, but I would imagine in the $20 million range. But here's what he did tell me. Listen to this. He put 100% of his money minus a little bit of cash that he put down for a down payment for a house. So when I say 100%, he told me, he goes, I didn't own any outside equities. I owned nothing. I had my down payment, my house, and 100% of the earnings that I made, which was low tens of millions, put into the business bank account. And then he started a company called Archer. So basically, they make like these some people call them flying cars. They're basically like helicopters, but they kind of look like a car body. And I was like, how did you learn about this? And he said, I learned it all on my own. I read 50 engineering books and built 3 generations of electric aircraft in 2018 at the University of Florida, where I was doing engineering courses as an undergrad. I had to build a lab there to have facilities big enough in 2018. And so with owning 0 public equities outside of Archer, the Archer stock, he makes 0 outside investments. And he said because he needs extreme focus. So he put all this money in Archer. Archer eventually does a SPAC. I believe they did a SPAC, but they went public. So they sold like $1 billion worth of these flying vehicles to United Airlines or something like that. Takes it public for $3 or $4 billion. Now the stock is, you know, like most stocks in the growth space, isn't doing so hot, but I still think it's $1 billion company, and his net worth skyrockets to $1 billion. I think now it's in the 300 or 400 range, and makes all this money from Archer. And now I can't talk about his new startup, but I can soon. He's told me he took basically $200 million and he's put all of it into his new company. And still to this day, he goes, the only stock that I own is Archer and my house. That's like the only outside investments. And then now the new business. And so I go, you know, is your wife and family okay with this? He goes, I've been going all in and been doing this for 20 years. They're used to it now by now. And I said, well, what do you think about people who say, you know, you're kind of nuts. Why don't you square away a little bit of money while you can? And he goes, I don't care what people think. I just want to build the future. And this guy, he's not like one of these Elon Musk types where he's like hard to talk to and you like ask him a question and he's like, you know, so smart that he can't articulate it. He's like fairly normal, I guess, normal in quotation marks, but he's like easy-ish to talk. He's easy to talk to. He's a personable, charismatic guy. And you're like, oh, you seem very reasonable. And then he says he does this stuff. And I'm like, you are insane. You're a madman. And so really interesting guy, totally under the radar, from Central Illinois. He's only 36 years old. So I got along with him because I'm from Missouri. Really fascinating dude.
And I'm on his Twitter. He's talking only about this thing called Polestar. Is that his new thing, or that's
Polestar Polestar is like a subsidiary, or they're a partner with Volvo, and they make really cool cars. Is that what the tweet is about? I don't know.
Yeah, he's just talking about Polestar cars the whole time. Okay. Wow. Amazing. So that's incredible. So they basically, are they actually planes, or are they what they call VTOL, like vertical takeoff and landing
The
cars?
second one. So kind of like a helicopter-ish. It looks like a helicopter. It looks like 4 Ford helicopter blades attached to like, you know, a Honda Civic.
Right. And why do you need this? What does this do differently than a helicopter?
I have no idea.
You're like, Question. Here's Sam's question list. Does he ask, it's usually name, where you're from, and then instead of like, what do you do? It's like, what other equities do you own? And like, how much of your personal net worth are you reloading into your next company? Wow. Okay. Let's focus on that. I don't even want to know why you've created this company.
I have no idea.
What
Like,
the actual helicopter does.
that's what a website's for. I don't know. To take cool pictures. I don't know. What are planes for? It's just like a plane. I don't know.
I mean, I'm looking at the website. Oh, it's also just cool pictures of the aircraft.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck what the widget is. It's a widget. There's
just like this beautiful black woman getting into this helicopter in a dress, and I'm like, what's she doing? What's the purpose here? And then the next photo is she's on like a sand dune in Dubai, and it's like, oh, did she just fly to the desert?
She had like an appointment.
Amazing.
Yeah, she had to go somewhere. I don't know. Looks
sure
like she's on a date.
I'm sure there's something. Sorry, Brett Adcock, we did not do it justice there on the actual thing. But okay, so hold on. There's a little question or a plot hole about the story. So it said that he was an undergrad in 2018, but you said he sold his company like in 2016. So
No,
did he go back to school, or he was in school?
Like he went back to school to learn how to do this stuff.
Oh my God. Even more incredible.
This guy's interesting,
back and
right?
became an undergrad.
Yes. And he told me, he goes, whenever I do something, I go all in. He goes, for example, I'm going all in on my latest thing. I went all in on Archer. He goes, when I was starting Vettery, there was a time where I took a personal loan 1 month because I didn't have any money in my personal account and we had to pay rent. And he goes, this is just what I do. And so he said he wanted to learn about electric cars or whatever this cool shit is. And he went and learned about it at University of Florida.
Wow. Okay, that's incredible. Speaking of